cruise lines have updated their boarding policies, conduct rules, and documentation requirements significantly in recent years. And the people most likely to be turned away at the gangway are the ones who booked their trip based on how cruising worked 5 years ago. Getting denied boarding on a cruise ship is not a minor inconvenience. You lose your fare, your trip, and in most cases, your travel insurance won't cover a self-inflicted documentation failure. This video covers the rules that are catching passengers off guard in 2026. Like and subscribe before we start. Share this with anyone planning a cruise. And let's get into it. 1. Passport requirements have tightened, even for closed-loop cruises. A closed-loop cruise historically allowed American citizens to travel with only a government ID and birth certificate. In 2026, many itineraries touching Mexico, Caribbean islands, or Central American ports now require a passport through Port Authority rules rather than cruise line rules. A passenger arriving with a birth certificate for a sailing that requires a passport at a specific port will be denied boarding. The safest position is a valid passport for any cruise, regardless of what the minimum documentation states, because destination entry rules can change between booking and sailing with no notification to passengers already booked. 2. Alcohol policies have become strictly enforced. Major cruise lines have tightened enforcement of their alcohol bring-aboard policies significantly, and the methods for detecting violations have become more systematic. Most lines allow passengers to bring a limited quantity of wine or champagne aboard at embarkation, typically 1 bottle per person, and prohibit spirits entirely. X-ray screening at the terminal is now standard at most major cruise lines, and spirits hidden in water bottles, mouthwash containers, or other disguised packaging are consistently identified and confiscated. Visible intoxication at the terminal is now documented grounds for denied boarding at all major lines, without appeal and without refund. The pier staff makes this call independently, and arguing the decision typically makes the outcome worse rather than better. 3. The booking name must match your travel document exactly. Cruise lines are applying the same name-matching standards that TSA applies at airport checkpoints, and the tolerance for discrepancies has decreased. The name on your cruise booking must match your passport or government ID exactly, not approximately, not with a nickname, not with a middle name omitted if it appears on your document. A booking made under Mike when your passport reads Michael creates a mismatch that the pier agent is required to flag. Name corrections cost money and sometimes require rebooking entirely close to the sailing date. Check your booking confirmation immediately against your travel document, letter for letter. 4. Visas and entry authorizations for port countries are your responsibility. Cruise lines handle the ship's paperwork for every port of call. They do not handle your personal entry requirements. If a port on your itinerary requires a visa or electronic travel authorization for your citizenship, obtaining that documentation before sailing is entirely your responsibility. The cruise line will not flag this for you. You may board the ship, but be denied ashore at the deficient port. And in some cases, the entry issue affects the entire ship's call. Research every port's entry requirements for your citizenship well before sailing. Not the week before, but at the time of booking. So any visa applications or electronic travel authorizations that require processing time can be submitted with a comfortable buffer. 5. Pregnancy cutoffs are enforced at the gangway. Virtually every major cruise line prohibits guests who will be past 24 weeks of pregnancy at any point during the voyage from sailing. Some lines set the cutoff at 23 weeks, some at 24. The pier staff check this, not as a formality, but as a genuine boarding requirement. A passenger who arrives even 1 week over the limit is denied boarding with no refund. Confirm the specific cutoff for your line at booking, get written physician clearance, and carry that documentation to embarkation. The medical team on board does not have obstetric capability, which is the reason the rule exists. 6. Conduct history from previous sailings can prevent boarding. Cruise lines maintain guest conduct records and share information within their corporate families. A passenger who was involved in a serious conduct incident on a previous sailing, disruptive behavior, physical altercation, harassment of crew or guests, significant intoxication events, or destruction of ship property may find themselves flagged in the line's system. At check-in, the booking processes normally. At the gangway, a note in the passenger manifest can result in a supervisor review and in some cases denial of boarding. If you have had a serious incident on a previous sailing within a cruise line's corporate family, the record may follow your guest profile across all brands under that corporate umbrella. Carnival, Princess, Holland America, and Costa, for example, all share ownership under Carnival Corporation, which means a conduct record on one line may be visible across all of them. 7. Travel insurance that covers denied boarding is not automatic. Standard travel insurance covers trip cancellation for covered reasons. illness, death in the family, natural disasters. It does not automatically cover denied boarding due to documentation failure, passenger conduct, intoxication at embarkation, or any situation the insurer classifies as within the passenger's control. Travelers who buy basic travel insurance, assuming it covers being turned away at the gangway for a missing visa or a name mismatch, are making a costly assumption. Read the policy specifically for denied boarding coverage, understand what constitutes a covered versus non-covered reason, and consider a comprehensive cancel for any reason policy if total trip cost protection is the goal. The policy that actually protects you costs more than the one that looks like it does. Reading the fine print before purchase rather than at the pier is the only way to know which one you have. 8. Late arrival at embarkation is a real denied boarding risk. Cruise ships have hard departure times and do not hold for late passengers with the same flexibility that an airline gate sometimes allows. The gangway closes typically 90 minutes before the scheduled departure time, and passengers who arrive after that point are denied boarding regardless of the reason. Traffic, delays, long lines, none of these are grounds for refund. Experienced cruisers arrive 3 to 4 hours early to handle check-in, screening, and boarding without pressure. If you are flying in for embarkation day, book a flight that arrives the day before the sailing, not the morning of. 9. Banned items are enforced more strictly than they used to be. Cruise lines have expanded and tightened enforcement of their prohibited items lists in recent years. Items that were occasionally overlooked in the past, irons, candles, extension cords, certain power strips, heating pads, and some recreational equipment are now systematically confiscated at terminal X-ray screening. Prohibited items are confiscated and returned at voyage end. The bigger concern is passengers who argue at the terminal after a long travel day. Behavior that can escalate into a conduct review and denied boarding. Know the prohibited items list for your specific line before you pack. And when in doubt, leave the item at home or check it in a bag that won't be screened at the terminal. The list is available on every cruise line's website and takes 5 minutes to review. 10. Medical conditions requiring specific accommodations need pre-approval. Passengers with certain medical conditions, dialysis requirements, conditions requiring oxygen beyond portable concentrators, post-surgical recovery situations, and some mobility conditions must receive advance clearance from the cruise line's medical department before sailing. Arriving undisclosed with a condition the ship cannot manage is grounds for denied boarding. Ships have limited medical capability, and the clearance process protects both the passenger and the line. If you have a significant medical condition, contact the cruise line's special needs department well before sailing, disclose the condition fully, and obtain written clearance before you finalize your plans. 10 rules that are turning passengers away at the gangway in 2026, almost all of them fully addressable, with preparation done well before the sailing date. The documentation checks, the name matching, the port entry requirements, the medical clearances. Every one of these is easier to resolve at home than at the pier. The passengers who get denied boarding are almost always the ones who assumed the process would be forgiving. Cruise lines have become more systematic, not less, and the rules exist in writing in the booking terms every passenger agrees to at purchase. Read them, prepare accordingly, and the gangway is never the problem. Hit the like button if this gave you something to check before your next cruise. Subscribe for more practical cruise content every week, and share this with someone planning their first sailing. We will see you in the next one.